we have someone online wants to, is Yukiko here, would like to speak? Is she here? Would you like to speak, my dear? Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey, assalamu alaikum.
Yukiko is from Japan, by the way. She's also a
Mashallah.
Japanese new Muslim. Yeah, go ahead. Raise your
Mashallah,
voice, my
mashallah.
dear.
Okay. Okay. It's about intercultural marriage.
Mhm.
So this is happening to my friend. He is a Japanese, but he study in German. Then he married a German girl in the astrophysics club. And because of the COVID, the husband lost his job and returned home to Kagoshima. Kagoshima is my village. The problem is they have two, how do you say, the way they interact, the way they communicate, it's totally different. Like Japanese people, we don't talk directly. We like read the atmosphere, use the body language.
Americans.
And the family, how do you say, the family, even the family don't speak English a lot. And they were married like 14 months. So it's 1 year. And the wife expected to do this cleaning, washing the laundry, blah, 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 blah. But this woman is too independent. So how do you handle about this intercultural marriage?
Yeah.
Can I, so it's Hiramatsu, is that correct?
Yes, it's a family name. My name is
Okay,
Yukiko.
Yukiko. Okay, thank you, Yukiko, for sharing. So they're both Muslim, is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to share, the thing is, it seems like there's a huge communication breakdown, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it seems like, I'm from the German culture myself. My mother is from Germany. I spent time in Germany, so I know the culture quite well. It's, I think the issue is not the issue is mainly the environment that this female grew up in, the German culture, right? And the Japanese culture is a very, it's a very delicate culture. I've been in Japan, there's an enormous amount of respect. I think that, again, when I talked about tempo before, the temperature of an individual, I mean, this is separate from, the fact that, yes, they're united because they're Muslim. They're united because they say, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, alhamdulillah. But, and circumstances is that, when he was in Germany, he fit into the culture because of his work. But perhaps her coming back into his culture, because is she here now in Japan with him?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't think that it's as easy for her to fit into his culture as it was for him to fit into her culture. Is that accurate?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I think that you have to think about this German woman who they're very, very strong. They're very hardworking. They're very independent. They're a very a culture. They're very honest and people, but they just are very driven. They have a lot of how can I say? I'm not very strong-minded women.
Have a lot of goals.
Yeah, exactly, precisely. Lots of goals and lots of accomplishments and a lot of get it done. And it's very different when it's one thing to be with this partner who is in your own environment in Germany, in your own country, because, he's fitting into her goals and he's fitting into her environment. He's meeting all the expectations of his work, which would be in synchronicity with the environment that he's living in, right? So now she's in his country, The women have a different type of
Responsibility.
yeah, there's a different expectation on the women in Japan. They're steeped in a very, very respectable ancient culture where women understand their role. And although there's a lot of modern Japanese people who are very, very funky and cool, I think there is this tradition that still is the basis of that particular culture. I think there's, you know, this great respect for elders and this great respect for, I think a woman knows her place a little bit more than she wouldn't take the lead in Japan as much as she would in Germany. Are you finding that problem?
Yes, the lady is stressful. Yeah, she didn't know what to do, and also bad communication because the family didn't even speak English.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one effort that I would look at is, for me, if she is interested and she's happy and she's loving her marriage. And do they have any children?
No, not yet.
Okay. How long have they been married?
16 months, 17 months.
Okay. Okay. So they're still in the, you know, the first 2 years of any marriage is very challenging. There's no doubt about that. That's empirical knowledge. That's evidence-based. The first 2 years are the toughest, you know, in a relationship. But so they're still in that phase. What can happen is that she can bridge gaps by, you know, they do a lot of lovely things. They love arts in Japan. And if she can't communicate with him, with his parents, you know, they have wonderful, they call it a Japanese Japanese brush painting. You know, there's this beautiful.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay. They started teaching that in the schools when they're 3 years old in China and in Japan, you know, as a way of calming and teaching children how to be patient. And it's a wonderful art, and you don't need language, you know, in that particular art form. So it would be nice if maybe you could encourage him to have his new wife and maybe the mother-in-law go and take a painting course together. You don't need language for that, but it's some kind of activity they can do to create a relationship. I think it's his family, integrating her into his family is a very important part of having the relationship be successful, because if his mother and father like his wife, it's going to help him to, you know, feel that they accept her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Sandra, we have only 1 minute left.
Okay.
So that's just an idea. I'm just thinking of that because, again, it's language. I don't know if she's taking Japanese. I don't know if she wants to learn Japanese, but something with the mother-in-law, creating an art class together, doing something that is that he's helping them integrate is going to be helpful, because that language barrier, you have to build that relationship between her and his parents in order for them to feel, you know, they are not going to reject her too, right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If they reject her, if the parents reject her, then the son almost feels like he made a mistake and that he did the wrong thing. And then he feels like he has to please his parents, because, you know, in your culture, it's very important to make the parents happy, right? And to make them, is that accurate, to honor your parents?
Yes, that's right.
So part of honoring the parents is the absolute most important thing in a person's life in your country. It's like that comes number one after God, right? It's God and then your parents.
Yes,
So,
we don't say no to the parents.
Exactly, precisely. And so she wants to keep this marriage alive. Allah, Allah. And she has to make an effort. She has to make a huge, enormous effort to fit and to make him feel that that she has to win the hearts of the parents.
Inshallah.
Okay, thank you.
I did want to touch on a couple of things that I think, did we lose our, oh great, Yukiko, right?
Yukiko, right, Yukiko.
I love your name. What does your name mean, Yukiko?
My name is Yukiko. Hiromatsu is a family name.
What does it mean?
Yuki, it means snow.
Oh.
Snow, mashallah.
Ko, it's for a child.
It's very nice. It's a very nice name, mashallah. So Yukiko, I just wanted to say, I was thinking of you, you know, one of the things I spoke about a little bit earlier about temperature, you know, like you have to imagine the German culture is a very progressive, very fast kind of get things done. And the men and women are equally, you know, goal setting and fast, you know, and it's not a submissive culture. It's not completely a patriarchal culture. It has a little bit more of a balance in terms of men and female. They work together, but I think it's just a different temperature. So when you look at the culture, when I'm in Japan, and it's a very, you know, a very soft, very delicate, very gentle, this essence of, you know, you have a feeling of peace. It's a very different kind of energy. So again, when I look at tempo between people, sometimes she has to come down the temperature level a lot to meet the level of his parents. And that Islam does that for us in itself. You know, when we're Muslims, you know, we submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we follow the sunnah, and we tend to find a kind of a sakina, a kind of a feeling of peace with, you know, that somehow, perfect. Thank you so much. So that kind of tranquility, it seems that to me, that's one of the key essence, the essence in their relationship that might be missing. Because one way he can be, when we go to different countries and different cultures, we can, you know, we can acclimate ourselves to the culture we're in. But she seems to need to acclimate herself to the new culture she's in. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes.
Do you see your culture is very, very different? I don't know if you've traveled outside of Japan, but have you been to Germany or been to Europe?
Never.
Okay. So in Japan, when I was there, the people are very peaceful. They're very calm. They're very sort of, like you said, it's the same with Islam. It's Allah, and then it's our parents. Unless our parents are doing something wrong, it should still be Allah and then our parents. And I think the traditions in the Far East are much more emphasized in the Eastern cultures than they are in the Western cultures. Their traditions are very highly respected, and people, how can I say, they honor them more. And I think this is it's a learning lesson for her. I mean, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best of planners. So I think that they wouldn't be married unless Allah had destined that marriage. But I think that she's in a phase where she has to learn to have the right temperature in the new environment that she's in. And that's kind of a learning phase for her to be able to adapt to that. You know, it's not the kind of environment that she came from. So it affects her personality a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It's a little harsher, a little stronger. And the Japanese people are a little softer.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.